This is Jill Pack with the Seasons of Joy podcast. This is episode number 117, entitled, I Don't Know. Are you a woman of faith who is struggling to navigate your current season of life? Do you feel like life is just happening to you instead of for you? My name is Jill Pack, and I'm a certified faith-based life coach and a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I want you to know that no matter your season or your circumstance, it is possible to create a more joyful life, and I would love to show you how. Are you ready? Let's go. Hello, my friends. Welcome to another episode of the Seasons of Joy podcast. I'm so glad that you're here, and I'm excited to talk to you today about what I consider a really important topic. I believe that it is fundamental in helping you to create more joy in your life. But before we get started, I wanted to invite you to check out my website, www.seasons-coaching.com, if you are ready to take what I talk about on the podcast to a deeper level. You can learn more about my private one-on-one coaching, my couples coaching, and my group coaching program. And the next session of my group coaching program, which is called the Season of Connection, begins on September 11th. So just a few weeks away. So I invite you to click on the Work With Me tab on my website to learn more, but I will also include links in the show notes. So if you're ready to create more joy in your life, I would love to be your coach. So now on to this week's episode. Have you ever wanted to try something new, but found yourself hesitant? Have you faced a tough decision and felt conflicted? Or maybe you've had a difficult conversation looming with someone in your life. Perhaps you're wondering how to stay motivated in your weight loss journey. In moments like these, moments of uncertainty, there's often a common thought that creeps into our minds of, I don't know. Now, at first glance, I don't know seems like a harmless phrase, but in reality, it is very poisonous. It's a poisonous thought. It stops our higher brain from engaging with the conversation, the decision, or the solution at hand. Instead, we find ourselves eating a snack, staying busy with chores, watching Netflix, or scrolling through social media, and our brains are wired to conserve energy, so of course they're going to want us to do those things. They often delegate tasks to the lower brain, allowing us to go through the motions without much thought or struggle. That's why we go to actions like that, right? And the truth is, our brains are amazing. Imagine if you had to constantly think about all those things that you do every single day without even thinking about them. Things like brushing your teeth, walking, driving a car, or riding a bike. It would be exhausting. But the phrase, I don't know, also serves as a form of protection. It can shield us from the fear of rejection or failure. The possibility that people might reject us can be scary, and our brain uses this phrase to keep us safe. And similarly, the possibility of failing also feels scary. Again, our brain uses this phrase to keep us from feeling insecure, embarrassed, or in a situation where we would feel less than others. But here's the truth. I don't know is not a fact. And actually, I believe it's never true. It's always a lie. Now, you might push back on this because you're thinking, well, I don't know everything. But here's the caveat. What if you just changed that thought of I don't know to I don't know yet? This simple 3-letter addition keeps the brain engaged, working to figure things out, and it opens up a world of possibilities. So let me share a personal example. For me, time management used to be a significant challenge, and to be honest, it's still an area that I'm actively working on. But years ago, I would create an extensive to-do list, naively attempting to accomplish everything on that list in a single day, believing that if I could do so, then I was being productive. Now, that's actually another topic I want to tackle in a future episode. I have a lot of thoughts about that. But I found myself at this time at the mercy of this overwhelming list, constantly telling myself, I don't know how I'm going to do it all. And this belief not only clouded my ability to think clearly, but it also kept me trapped in this cycle of overwhelm. However, things began to change when I shifted my perspective. I actually gave myself permission to say, I don't know how I'll get everything done yet. This simple addition of yet made a world of difference for me. By acknowledging that I didn't have to have all the answers all at that moment, but it allowed me to leave room for future solutions. This helped me lift a weight off my shoulders. This new mindset has allowed me to approach my tasks with a clearer head, tackling one item at a time without the paralyzing pressure of having to figure it all out at once, and even allowing myself to let some of those items on my list go. That when I really looked at them, I decided I didn't even need to get those things done. And maybe I could wait a little bit, right? But I could do that from a conscious place instead of a paralyzing place. And this shift from I don't know to I don't know yet transformed my approach to time management. Now, it didn't magically solve all my problems, but it has given me the mental space to start making progress, one task at a time. Instead of my time and my calendar controlling me, I am in charge of my calendar and time. I've also used this example before. Think of a baby learning to walk, right? They just keep trying until they figure it out. They fall down, they get back up, and they just keep doing it. And inevitably, they grow up walking. Recently, my little granddaughter has been learning how to walk. She just turned 1 in June, and it's been so fun to watch her learn how to navigate that process of learning how to walk. She waddles around, bumping into things, falling down on her bottom all of the time. There's plenty of tears, right? And in the beginning, sometimes when she'd fall, she would just start crawling to get where she wanted to go, right? She'd start walking a little bit, and then when she fell, she'd just continue the rest of the way by crawling. But now she hardly crawls. When she falls, she just gets back up and she starts walking again. Sometimes she'll cry and need her mom to give her a hug, right? But for the most part, she picks up where she left off. She falls, she gets back up, and she keeps going. And now she's building up to a run, right? And I love it. It's just been so fun to watch her go through this process. And again, I don't know what a baby thinks, but she's not telling herself that she doesn't know how to do it. Really, it's obvious that she really thinks that she can. It really is a timeless example of just keep going, even when you don't know how to do something yet. One way to overcome the I don't know mindset is by journaling with prompts. This can be a powerful experience. So for example, let's say you have an important conversation coming up and that sneaky thought of I don't know what to say creeps in. You could sit down and write about it, right? You could write this prompt. If I did know, I would say, and then really think about it. If you were to guess, if you did know and you went into this conversation, what would it be? Or let's say you want to try something new, but you tell yourself you don't know how to do it. You may feel tempted to not even try. You could sit down and you could write about it with this. If I knew I would be successful, I would try, and you write about it. Or let's say you're on a weight loss journey and you're struggling to see the numbers change. And you begin to tell yourself that you don't know what to do because you always feel hungry. And you could write about it with this. I don't get hungry when right? It's opening up to the possibilities. It's instead of focusing on what you don't know, focus on what you do know, and then allow it to open your mind to other possibilities. Or let's say you're an empty nester and you find yourself not not being needed like you have been needed in the past. And when your family is living in your home, right? They all need you in a different way than they do now. And you begin to tell yourself, I don't know what to do in this season of my life. And this can cause you to feel a little lost because your focus has been on other people for so long, you've forgotten what it is that maybe you would like to do. So you could write with the prompt, I secretly wish I could. And what would that be? What would it be to explore something that you haven't explored before? Now, these are just suggestions. You might find prompts that resonate more with you, but the idea is to allow yourself to write and get your brain headed in the right direction. Just set a timer for 3 to 5 minutes and just write. Don't judge or edit yourself. You aren't committing to anything, right? This isn't like set in stone. You're just simply exploring your thoughts. And over time, this exercise actually becomes easier. And by doing this, you are telling your brain that you're willing to listen. I think that's critical. I think when we tell ourselves we don't know, we shut our brain down. We don't even give it a chance to explore. And by doing this, by allowing yourself to do this, you can speak up and discover who you truly are, developing a more intimate relationship with yourself. You're showing yourself that it's safe to be you. It's safe to be genuine. So here are a few more examples of shifting that I don't know mindset, right? We talked about opening up with prompts. Now let's just add that yet, right? So I don't know mindset versus I don't know yet perspective. So let's say you have a career change, right? And you might be thinking, I don't know how to switch careers. It's too late for me. And what if you just replaced it with, I don't know yet how I'll switch careers, but I can start by researching options and talking to people in my target field. Or what if you're wanting to learn a new language? You might have a thought like, I don't know how to speak Spanish. Languages aren't my thing. But what if you switched it to, I don't know Spanish yet, but I can start with basic phrases and work my way up? Or what about a fitness goal? You might have this belief of, I don't know how I'll ever run a marathon. I get winded just walking up the stairs. What if you could replace it with, I don't know yet how I'll build up to a marathon, but I can start with short jogs and gradually increase my distance? Or what if you are in a relationship conflict? You might be believing, I don't know how to fix this argument with my partner. Maybe we're just not compatible. What if you could shift your perspective and say, I don't know yet how we'll resolve this, but I'm willing to listen and work on improving our communication? What about financial issues, right? You might have, like when you're thinking about your financial planning, you might have this belief of, I don't know anything about investing. I'll never be good with money. But what if you could shift it to, I don't know much about investing yet, but I can start by reading some beginner-friendly finance books? Or what about cooking, right? You might have this belief that, I don't know how to cook. I always burn everything. But what if you could shift it to, I don't know how to cook complex meals yet, but I can start with something simple recipes, and just build on my skills? What about public speaking, right? Maybe you have an opportunity that you've been asked to give, speak in public, and you might be tempted to have this thought or believe the thought that says, I don't know how to give presentations without panic. I'm just not a natural speaker. But what if you could replace it with, I don't know yet how to feel completely comfortable with public speaking, but I can practice with small groups and seek feedback? And finally, what about like technology? I know that my mother, she just was afraid to try the computer. She was afraid she was going to break it, right? And she would tell herself, I don't know how to use this, right? We might have this belief, especially if we're if we're learning to do different things that we've never done, like making a podcast or writing a blog, or for some people, it's as simple as writing an email, right? And they have this belief of, I don't know how to use this new software or this program. I'm just too old to learn these things, right? But what if you could shift that to, I don't know how to use this program or software yet, but I can take an online course or ask a colleague for help, right? Just that little yet can make such a big difference. These examples illustrate how adding yet transforms a limiting belief into an opportunity for growth and learning. The yet perspective acknowledges current limitations while maintaining openness to future possibilities and progress. So my invitation to you is that the next time you find yourself thinking, I don't know, I want to invite you to remember that it's not the end of the road. It doesn't have to stop there. It's actually just the beginning of a new journey. Change it to I don't know yet, and open yourself up to the endless possibilities that lie ahead. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you found this episode helpful, please share it with someone who might benefit from it. And until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep growing. Thank you for tuning in to the Seasons of Joy podcast. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. And if you liked what you heard, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share with your friends and family. If you want to learn more about me or how to work with me, just visit my website, www.seasons-coaching.com, and have a joyful week.